focusing on the change. What can I do? What can I change about myself to make that situation better? And sometimes we have to focus on that internal change before we can work on that external change. Hey everybody, I'm Adam, and this is your daily dose of today for May 23rd, 2019. Today I want to speak to you about change. And very often, as human beings in society, we look outwardly when we talk about change. If I was to ask you, what would you like to see changed? You'd probably identify maybe a person, a situation, some sort of circumstance that's external to you, that you wish you had some sort of influence on or direct control over, but you don't. But very seldom when we're looking for change do we actually turn that inward and focus on changing ourselves to adapt to the situation. There's a great phrase I like that kind of crystallizes this thought, which is, be the change that you want to see. Now, that's a great little anecdote, sure, but it's really hard to practice because it really requires you to invest in self-awareness, invest in mindfulness, invest in self-introspection, and to kind of take that self-inventory, which you've heard me talk about, of yourself. And you say, I wish every time I was in situation X or around, person X, that I didn't get so angry or that I didn't get so upset. Well, there are things you can do, hopefully, to influence the external piece if that's causing it. We talked about this somewhat, about being precise in your language and speaking to others. Then also, too, a lot of that is just looking internally and focusing on the change. What can I do? What can I change about myself to make that situation better? And sometimes we have to focus on that internal change before we can work on that external change. Case in point, I've already talked about this somewhat, and that is having that precise conversation with somebody else that makes you feel bad. Because it's not just so much of having that external conversation. Remember the 3 points of things you want to do. Talk about specifically when they did that, specifically what happened, specifically how it made you feel, right? And if you address those 3 points, then it makes a reconciliation conversation possible. But oftentimes, that requires us to look and say, okay, I have to quit being so mad or irate about that situation. You have to look inside and change that and say, I need to think about this rationally. I need to think about this proactively. What am I going to change to be proactive the next time this situation happens? So I can take the steps necessary to, number one, not let it affect me so grievously and so emotionally. That's something you can help change and frame your heart, prepare yourself, prepare your mind, change your state of mind. And then by doing these things and doing this internally, having this internal change of heart, change of mind state, that actually allows you to then address some of your external things more head on and more effectively. So, if I take something that seems more straightforward, if you're in a competition or a game or something like that and you're down, and you realize, and you have a defeatist attitude, you're going to lose, right? And so you might get in there like, all right, come on, I'm trying to get I got to get my header, I got to get my teammates on board, I got to pick them up, I got to rally them around. What do you have to do first? You first have to identify in yourself that negative thing. You have to change that state of mind, prepare yourself, prepare your head, prepare your heart. And when you do that, then you can have that effect on others. And it's no different when you're trying to face these things out there. Because look, most of you aren't pursuing your goals either because A, you don't have confidence in yourself, or second, you're letting the negativity or the disbelief of others affect you. And you got to do something about that. That's the type of change that you can only affect within. And again, it's not, like I said before, it's not about saying that doesn't matter. It does matter. But it's about preparing your heart and your mind so much that you can take things, you can take blows to the chin and stay in the fight and take those and work the whole match to get where you need to be. Because you can't sit out of the competition. You have to get in. But you just have to season yourself and be prepared to go the distance. Be the change that you want to be, that you want to see. This has been your daily dose of today.